Hezekiah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? You missed
I'm doing good.
You missed last week. We actually took time last week, and all we did was, for the most part, just talk about people, the people who are participating on the show, like where they're from, what they're doing, the background.
Okay.
So you missed that. So we're gonna get an opportunity to do that for you today, and then also, we're gonna talk about your project. So first things first, brother. Where you from?
I'm from Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm an author of 6 books. Got my own publishing company, production company.
Did you say 6 books?
6 books, yes, sir.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 6 books. Two-time author of the year. 6 times nominated. I write for various magazines, and I'm just be busy all the time, along with working a full-time job.
You're working a full-time job. You a Jamaican man?
I'm telling you, I feel like it sometimes.
Okay.
I feel like it sometimes.
All right. Look, why don't you tell us about this project that you are excited about? That's about to drop.
Actually, one of my books is going to be, well, it is a short film now. It's called The Player and Me. And it's like one of my alter egos that I started writing about. And we decided to turn it into film. And it's actually going to be premiering Monday, September the 12th at 8:45 p.m. And that's going to be the premiere where you get to meet the actors, you get to talk about the movie, how did you like it, and the storyline. And you get to meet me as well as we're going through the scenes of the movie.
Okay, where's this at?
It's going to be on Eventbrite. I'm gonna put the link so everybody can get it. I think I already have. I put the link in the chat room so people can go to the link.
All right.
And just tune in.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the clip, okay?
Okay.
What happens when one man,
Z, short for Zakarian,
plays 3 women? Sapphire,
short for sexy, intelligent, and single.
Laquita,
damn, you look good.
and Deja.
I'll salute to that.
Do they know about one another?
Not right now.
You need to handle this shit. Okay? And who is she? Don't
Find out in The Player.
Here's the tales.
Adopted from the novel The Player in Me. Written by Hezekiah Morris. Another Andre Harris production.
All right, Hezekiah, we stay over here. But all of our people are creative. You got a chance to meet all the ladies last week. What they were all into. We're doing our thing over here. The Queen collaboration got us together, so I'm happy. All right, bro, it's time to start the show. Okay,
let's get it.
All right, let's get it. All right, everybody. Today, it's all about her image.
Let's have a conversation. Hey, yo, let's chop it up, man. Hey, yo, let's have a conversation. Hey, yo, may I interject? It's about time for communal reconnect. Power of the we in some type of context. Working on the us so we can hit up what's next. It's that grown brother, grown sister type of flex. More like soul check, not just collecting checks. Fact, not feelings is what we got on deck. Take the high road, so this here is high tech. Getting to the real, everything that we hitting on. Pull up or sit down, tell me what you sipping on. Reclaiming kinghood, that is what we getting on. Real headlines is what we spitting on. So, hey now, yo, let's have a conversation. Maybe take a sec to talk on what we facing. Only way to change is to change the situation. How about we break bread now and have a conversation? Hey now, yo, let's have a conversation. Maybe take a sex talk on what we facing. Only way to change is to change the situation. How about we break bread now and have a conversation? Let's have a conversation. Hey, yeah, let's have a conversation. Have a conversation. Have a conversation.
Okay, we are back. We are back, and we are back. We are the Real Bravado Network, and this is Have the Conversation. So let's strap in and get to work. Before we get started, do me a huge favor. On YouTube, go to Real Bravado Network on YouTube. Best way you can support the stream, hit the subscribe button. That way it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. We're not trying to jack you for no dollars yet. So that's the biggest way we can you can provide support to the streamers, to go ahead and subscribe. Our goal at the start of this over 3 months ago was to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the summer. I'm here to announce that we not only did we meet that goal, but as of today, we have 2,150 subscribers. So I don't know who you are, but thank you. As we continue to grow and do what we need to do over here, we definitely have a purpose-driven mission over here. And what we want to continue to do is ask people is to go ahead, come on, like everybody else, the best, and engage with us. With engagement is going to be the biggest way that you can help grow the platform over here, okay? All right, let's get down to business. My name is Tavares J. Moore. People who know me call me TJ. And over here, we talk about Black people issues from an image perspective. So let me recap a little bit what we mean by image. Now, if you look up the definition of image in the dictionary, it's going to tell you that image is a noun. It's a person, place, or thing. But sometimes the way we use it, we might use it like a verb, the way to describe something. But image does have several different meanings. But the one that we operate under over here on the Real Bravado Network is we use image and we define it as the reputation that a person is known for, which includes their behaviors, their character, and also their appearance. Another way of putting it, it's how you or we are perceived. So that's how we define image over here at the Real Bravado Network, okay? So let's get to our topic in the segment that we call the Real Bravado Headlines, and this is where we introduce our topic from a fact-based perspective, all right? Here we go. Okay, over the last couple of years, there have been a renewed push to examine the image of Black men and Black women in this country, including our behaviors, the choices we make, and the outcomes that those produce. There are other people on YouTube that are addressing issues around Black men and Black women, mostly from a relational standpoint. We do a lot of relational stuff too, but they're really they do it a little bit differently. And you got individuals like MTR, who likes to point out like the hypocrisies and stuff like that and have discussions around that. Mr. Let Go, which is a new guy on the scene. Well, I wouldn't say he's a new guy on the scene, but he's like really, really growing in popularity. This guy named Mr. Let Go, his actual name is Aaron. We got our sister, the Crimson Cure. Her name is Kendra. She's a femininity coach, and she really speaks and talks to a lot of specifically to the sisters about their behaviors, how they come across, what they're offering, men that they say that they want to have in their lives. I really like the Crimson Cure. If you ever get a chance, go over to subscribe to her, especially if you get a chance to look at the stream where she talks about like a man's 4 Ps and the lost value system. The sister is she's on one. She's on a whole nother level. Also, we got like ladies like Courtney Michelle and fellas like Shushu Zed. And also we got other channels like the Lapeef Network, where the Lapeef Network is more of a collaborative conversation around various issues around Black people. So they're very good. These are all excellent, welly platforms that have been around for a while that deal with our issues. And I'm not gonna fail to mention, regardless of what you feel about him, but he had become one of the most prolific conversationalists on the topic, which is Kevin Samuels. So while I enjoy all of these people and their different perspectives around the issues that keep Black men and Black women separate, I have a little bit of a different mission with our stream on Have the Conversation. What I think we do a little differently is that we actually take the issues and we really try to examine them based on the data. We try to do our topics from a data-driven perspective. We also take on topics from the perspective of image. For the last 3 months, we have been exclusively focused on the image of our Black women, closely talking about the behaviors, choices, and outcomes that manifest itself based on those behaviors and choices. Over here on Have the Conversation, we have examined many issues from her image. Some of the topics that we've covered are like stepdad, good deal or bad deal. We examine the effects of not marrying the man that you have children with and what the outcome of that for the guy that comes in behind that. Friendly, beautiful, inspirational. That was another stream where we examined the outcomes of the female of being a feminine female woman and what men say that they want. Our stream, Strong, Independent, and Stress, which was probably my favorite stream because I think this is like the biggest barrier for our Black women is the fact that the overall theme of that stream really talked about the fact that our women are carrying way too much and are taking on things that do not belong to them. Okay. And we also examine the mother-daughter dynamic, especially if you have an overlapping generation with your daughter. And a subject that we will deal with in great detail when we start to examine his image as well, the creation of the son husband. Our channel, the Real Bravado Network, our goal is to examine these issues that keep us apart with a bend towards our image. Each issue we addressed, each issue that we have addressed so far, we've taken it from we have taken it from her image, and we're gonna move on shortly to his image, and then we're gonna move to our image, and our stream will probably forever stay with our image, because when we get to our image, we will be a more of an integrated collaboration, because right now with her image we have a predominantly female participation, and with his image it will be a predominantly male participation. And then when we get to our image, that's where we're going to start doing what we call the work. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay, all right. Let's see, I kind of lost my stop my place, but that's okay. When we start we will be, like I said, we'll be moving on in a few short weeks to examine issues around his image, talk about our Black men. But before we go there or get there, we'll wrap up the section of her image in a 2-part stream called Queen Mother, which will ask the hardest question I think I've ever asked on our stream with her issues for our Black women. I'm not going to tell you what that question is right now, but I think it's going to be probably one of the harder questions that I've asked, and probably I'm expecting to be one of the more controversial questions that I'm going to ask about our women when we actually get through dealing with the 2-part series of Queen Mother, okay? Which is going to include some historical and also the outcomes of the historical stuff. But today, we're going to take an in-depth look at her image from the perspective of Sister Shahrazad, I can never pronounce her name correctly, Shahrazad Ali. We're going to review and react to her. We're going to examine, when we examine the Patrick Moynihan report, I stated over the course of those 3 streams that we were warned. Well, back in 1989, Miss Ali went across the country and made the attempt to hit the panic button in Black America for Black men and Black women. She released a book that kind of shook the world in Black America. And the book was called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding Black Women. I'm not going to go through and summarize this book. All I'm going to tell you is $17 on Amazon. And I believe if you care anything about us, the history of us, it is a very prolific, profound book. I bought it a week ago. I finally got around to doing it, and I read the whole book. One of very few books that I sat and read in one setting, and hers was it. Okay. All right. So for the rest of the stream, what we're going to do, we're going to look at some of her appearances and that she made during that time frame, and see her daring approach to push the panic button for us as a culture, as a group, as a family unit. And also probably talk a little bit about the fact that how hard each time someone tries to ring the alarm about us, how hard we fight against it. Okay? I got a few friends with me. Let's get to it. Miss Queen of Collaboration, Angela, how you doing? Can you unmute for me? There we go. How you doing?
I'm great.
Hi, good. Have you heard of the lady that I'm talking about?
I have not.
You have not.
I have not.
Well, you are definitely in for a treat. I'm not going to delay this because I want y'all to see this. I want you to see her. I have multiple clips with her, and we're going to be spending the rest of the stream talking about this sister. And remember, this is back. She started touring the country back in 1989. She was on Oprah show, Phil Donahue. She was on Larry King. This woman went all over the country. This woman's book set such a churches started dragging her, about pastors started dragging her before all of these churches and trying to excoriate this woman for her book and her works. And she talk about representing something that you know to be right, and to do it in the grace that this woman does it. A lot of times, I'm a big fan of actual, male leadership, but to me, to a degree, there's nothing more charming than seeing a Black woman coming to the aid and the defense of our Black culture, her Black family. That's where I believe we need to be putting our energy, but we'll get to that another day, okay? So, Miss Angela, I'm going to play this opening clip, and then I'm going to get back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
My position is that the Black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the Black man is the direct cause of the breakdown in our Black family structure. Now, of course, there are many Black people who consider those fighting words, because as Black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here. We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior whereas our men have always been up for examination. The book is not an attack on Black women. I have never said that all Black women do everything that I list in my book. None of us have lived long enough to do everything that I list in the book, but most of us do some of the things that I've listed in my book. And I do say that it is not because of generalizations that we are all victimized by some of the negative patterns of behavior in the book, but the book just represents our collective contribution. This is some of everything that we have done or that we do daily that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that being my own person and I'm independent would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man.
Okay. That was the opening 1 minute and 46 seconds of the sister. What do you think?
I mean, she's speaking some truth. I mean, like, for real. And I look back at I did a study on the turn of the civil rights whenever we began the civil rights movement, and how a lot of the different races were coming to our women and trying to get them. So I get it. I get what she's saying. I get it. But she was speaking some truth.
All right, Dr. Thomas, go ahead and unmute.
And
what do you think?
I think she is spot on with this with her comment, especially when she starts talking about the fact that we as Black women have never had to experience the same type of examination that our Black men have experienced. That was very profound to me. I watched the clip earlier, and I just sat back and listened to the whole clip, and the things that she said, she was really on it. And the fact that she's saying, it's nothing against women in general or Black women in general. It's not a beat down on us, but it's just bringing the awareness to us of the things that we are doing to tear down our Black men.
Okay. Miss Miss Philly. What do you want? Is that what you want me to call you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I want you to I'm gonna play like the first couple seconds again. And I want you because I think the first couple seconds I think can be a little bit abrasive, but I want you to comment on what she said. Hold on a second.
My position is that the Black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the Black man is a direct cause of the breakdown in our Black family structure.
What do you think? She said the disrespect of the Black woman is the downright cause of the breakdown of the Black family.
When it comes to women in society, nowadays it's like we have been programmed to beat down, to strip the Black man, especially the Black man, of his masculinity. So that's pretty much what it is, what it's kind of like conveying in a sense.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. We have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on. Over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. I just came out of Florida and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men in there.
Miss Fanny.
Yeah. So can I make a comment about the previous clip?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, everything she's stating, I completely, I really do agree with. And what she was saying about the way some black women talk to black men, even though I can't imagine talking that harshly to a black man because I was raised by a black man, I have to believe that it is true. I wrote an article having to do with interracial relationships, and a black man wrote to me responding to my article that I wrote. And he was saying he's been in an interracial, he's a black man, been involved with a white woman for over 30 years because he did not like the way black women spoke to him. And I responded to him that I believe the main reason why some black women have a lack of trust and respect for black males is not the black man that necessarily standing in front of her. It goes back to her childhood because the man wasn't even around when she was a child. She found as a child, in a lot of cases, she couldn't even trust the black men then. So now that she's grown, how can I trust him?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with that.
I can understand that because like when I was on the job last night, I oh my God, some of our sisters, our sister nurses, they are very reckless in their tone and how they talk to not just me but other black men, and I get a when it happens to me, I address it in the moment. I don't care who's there. I don't care who's around, because if you have the nerve to be that disrespectful, and I had a nurse right in the middle of the ER just get really, really, like, her tone was, and I looked at her, I said to her in the most calm way I could, very sternly, I said, I think you want to I said to her, I think you want to reassess your tone.
Absolutely.
With me. And then I said, I said to her, you know better. And she just the absolute shock on her face.
Well,
and I told her, and I said, you know better. And one of the Caucasian nurses that was sitting right next to her, she was like, what do you mean she knows better? I said, first of all, this is not a conversation for you. She knows what I mean. And I said, I don't need to explain it to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And I get because I'm very mindful, especially in the professional setting. I'm very mindful about how I interact with, how I deal with, how I talk to, especially when I'm in disagreement with one of our black women. I'm very mindful not to undermine them, because that will give other people permission to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a big fan of that. One of the issues that we're having is that a lot of our women, they really believe that it's somehow belittling to them when to request I hate to use the word like mind your tone like you're a child, but you're not a child, but understand, be aware, because I don't care if that man is a stranger. If you are out in public somewhere and there's a brother around and there's a crisis that you're in the middle of it, you should have the expectation, regardless if that's your husband or if that's your guy or not, for that brother to understand that he needs to come in. And if you don't give basic respect to the average black dude, you cannot expect to be rescued for anything. Because just like sisters get sick and tired of being dogged, used, and manipulated, we get sick and tired of being talked to crazy.
Oh, of
and
course.
you might be in the one more thing, and I'm gonna keep going. I was at work one night, and I was in a supposed to be a locked unit. It was about 3:00 in the morning, and I'm usually the only man on shift. And one day I'm on like a far end of the unit, and then some man who was really not supposed to be there. I don't know how in the world he got into the building, but he came in causing a mess. And every woman in there came looking for me to deal with this other man. And I'm on shift with a bunch of ladies who the vast majority of them have been god awful to me. And for me, I'm an opportunist. Deal with the guy, call the security, secure the ladies. I make sure that I'm in. And when that situation got resolved by security and everything else, we have to debrief stuff like that. And that was in that moment, I told the ladies, the white ladies, the black ladies who were there, this is why you guys need to make sure that you deal with me appropriately. I have no obligation to try to shield you from anything. I say, why are you guys coming here with your disrespectful attitudes, your unwillingness to be understanding or sympathetic if I make a mistake or if I forget something or I can't get to something right away, and you have this attitude like you guys can actually do something to me. This is why you be kind to the men you work with. Because when something goes wrong, you're calling us. Yeah, definitely. So, and it's cultural with us, and here's the thing. I believe we all know better.
Well, there's really no excuse. Anyone you're working with deserves your respect. I don't care who it is. You can't talk to your colleagues as if they are children, unless you're a school teacher. If you're working around a bunch of adults, you need to address them in that way. And I have seen, unfortunately, sometimes Black people, they get a little, sometimes, they can get a little too casual and address each other in a way that is just not good. It is just not good.
I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of. Them women that had men, if they got a bunch of children, they need fathers. They need protection. We hear about the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. We talk about the great strength that we have as Black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single Black men. Those apartments belong to Black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, Black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us Black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear. Drive around in some of these fancy cars.
You hear what she said?
Yes.
What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
The ladies.
Go ahead.
We do accept that behavior because we know the truth, we know the difference. And the sad part is we look at the men, we pick these men, and we say, "Oh, I want him to be my baby daddy." But then when he gets in the house, we break him down. We say, "Well, he's selling drugs, but it's okay." And we turn a blind eye. And then you get mad because your child's selling drugs. You created that monster. You accepted it. So we have to change the behavior. We set the environment of the family. We said who's going to be in the house. We say this is going to be my man. He's going to take care of me. He's going to take care of the children. And then we got to figure out he's going to get a job. He's not going to sell drugs because drugs kill. But we create that little monster, and then we want to get mad because somebody looking at us saying, "What's this going on? Why are you doing it?" We did that. We had accepted that.
The a productive black man is supposed to set the direction of the home. The woman sets the culture of the home.
Yeah.
I mean, full stop. And don't nothing happen with black men that black women don't authorize. If I don't have a better term for it. Meaning, like we always talk about the volume of single of women raising children by themselves or fatherless homes. This does not happen without the express permission of our black women.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mhm.
And we always and we're in this age now where we are our women are very hypersensitive about their image. And I understand that, but if the image is trash, how the world did it get there?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We as black women, we have to accept responsibility for our part. What part did we play in the breakdown of the family? And it's hard to constantly listen to, oh, breakdown of the family is, it's due to the black man. He left the home, he did this, and he got her pregnant. Well, she was there when he got her pregnant. I mean, she so yeah, we have to take responsibility. We're
But that's
women.
like oftentimes
We
that's like
control the
kryptonite to a lot of
we
us.
can do. I'm sorry.
That's like kryptonite to a lot of our sisters to take responsibility. I know somebody recently who told me that the reason why it's not her fault that she has two kids by two different men. She said it's not her fault. I
Yeah,
said
I
unless
struggle with
unless
that at this day and age, with things that are available to us as women. Uh, I struggle with that when I hear that
yeah,
statement.
Miss Diamond, how you doing? You got to unmute for me.
I'm
Okay,
fine. How are you?
good. What do you think of what the sister's talking about so far?
I think she's deep. I can tell you that. I think that our young women who hear her today would have a problem with the things that she say because of their mindset today.
The women back then had problems with it.
I think they did have problems, but I think more. I think that the mindset of these younger women today, when they hear someone speak of that caliber, they would they would prefer to rip into her than to accept the knowledge from her.
Yep.
Back then, I believe that they would have heard her. They would have accepted a lot of what she was saying, but they wouldn't want anybody to know that they would accept it. Because some black women have to put up an image when they're around other people. Some black women, they like to look good first before they take care of their responsibilities. And I'm not saying everything is their responsibilities. Some black women, they would rather walk on the same side of the street with the man instead of realizing there's another side of the street where they can allow the man to be who he needs to be by allowing him to walk ahead. There's so many different things that I can sit here and say about some black women because I can't say it about all because I don't know every black woman. But when I heard her speak, and this is the first time I've heard her speak, I had to sit back and I closed my eyes and I thought about where I was and where I am today. And I'm going to be honest, I will say that I was one of those black women that would have probably said the same thing, that she doesn't know me. She doesn't know where I come from. I'm going to be honest about it. But the person who I am today, I give her props because I say I know exactly where you're coming from. And some people aren't there yet. Some people haven't grown. Some people live in a different type of environment. I haven't walked the walk of everyone. So I can't begin to say that all black women are like that. I can't say that. I just know that I was probably one of those women that would have said things like that.
We have studied that, and we have made up and came up with requirements that the white people have set for us for our man. And if he cannot come up to those requirements, then we have decided that he is impotent and unable to be our man because he's disqualified, because he does not qualify by the standards that the white people have set up. We think a good, successful relationship is one where everything goes our way. The first time it stops going our way, then we got a serious problem. We want our man to do everything we tell him to do, but we don't want to do anything he tells us to do.
All right. Miss Thomas, Dr. Thomas,
Yes, sir.
what you think?
Yes, sir. She's tapping into something right there, TJ. She's tapping into that big word that we try to avoid, which is that word submission. And it is, I mean, she is really, really, like I said earlier, she's on point. And I have to agree with Miss Black Diamond with the things that she said, because when I began to watch this clip, I had to really deal with myself with reality and truth, because so many times, we want to really say where we are now, well, this is where I am. I want to speak from this point in my life where I am now, but there was a point in time in my life where I was not here. I may have been one of those women as well. And the thing is, when she talks about the drug problem and the fact that nobody rents to single fathers. These are houses that are being rented to single mothers, and they go along with the selling of the drugs and driving the cars and being able to enjoy the materialistic things. And yeah, this is going on, and in the same interim, when things don't go their way, they do begin to tear down the integrity and the self-esteem of that man. And it almost gives them a right to open up access for others to speak to him in that manner, because there is no respect there is no integrity when it comes to that, because now that you're not able to provide this fabulous lifestyle for me, then you're no good. You're useless. You're not of the caliber of man that you should be. And it goes back to our fairy tale list of expectations of what our man should be. We want that knight in shining armor, and we have all these expectations, and instead of looking at our reality and our truth.
Yeah, it's hard language. And all of our so-called educated class together have never come up with an agenda that brought the people together to try to improve their condition like the Black Man's Guide. Not a one of them have ever had a program that got all of the black people talking, got all of them out, made everybody decide to make a comment, whether they wanted to or not. People are compelled to testify all over the country. I can't walk the street. See, we've never been examined, as I said. In the breakdown of every relationship, each party in the relationship shares one half the responsibility. That's 50% of the responsibility. So yes, the black man is 50% responsible for the breakdown of our relationships. And we are the other 50% half responsible for the breakdown of our relationships. And I ask black women, if you do not want to accept 50% of the responsibility, what percentage do you accept, and how does that behavior manifest? And I guarantee you it's already in my book.
Miss Philly, I like that question that she asked. If our sisters don't want to accept at least 50% of the blame, what do you think the percentage that you think our sisters are willing to accept for blame for the breakdown of the relationship between black men and black women?
In reality, with today's mindsets and the way society is, like, honestly, women don't want to accept the blame at all. But me as an individual, knowing, with my mindset and knowing how the world works and all that, I mean, it is 50-50. Like everybody plays a part, for every action, there's a reaction. And so, I mean, it just goes from there. So we have to be willing to take responsibility to, say, what role did I play in this, to make, the Black man feel this way, or bringing certain situations into my life, like what I could have done better. What, even though we're all growing, it's like, when you look back, what I could have done to, and how can I keep, propelling forward in order to, make better decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
As I stated in the opening monologue about what we do here, we do an examination, and I always have the best intentions of like, we're going to watch this whole clip together. We're going to do all of this together. And then we kind of get into it, and I kind of get to the point, I go, I think we get the point. You know what I mean? And I encourage people, go out, the data that we bring, the clips that we use, I put them in the description for you to look at and review, or search them yourself and take a good look at them. We are marching towards something over here. We're marching towards our, when we start dealing with our image, and that's what we're going to do to work with each other. You know what I mean? And so our image is not, I think I can safely say this from both perspectives, is not where we want them to be. Our Black women image is actually a lot better than our Black males image. That's not saying a whole lot, but it is. Hezekiah, it is. Our women's image our women have the image of being. We're gonna get into that, and when we talk about the Queen Mother. But when we talk about the Queen Mother, we talk about how from a publicity standpoint, or from a national image standpoint, our Black women have this. Their image, I guess, is, you could consider it good, is that of somebody who's here to rescue everybody. Our Black women are the saviors of the Black family. They're the saviors of the Black men. They created the Black Lives Matter movement, which we'll talk about that later. Our Black women come to the rescue of everybody. That's one of the most positive images that things about our women that we have. Probably one of the only ones is that, and when we get to, and I've written most of the Queen Mother stuff, but our women are touted as these superheroes. And I agree that they are, to a degree, superheroes, but I don't want them to be superheroes for nobody else. I want them to be superheroes for me and people who look like me. But we'll get to that when we get to the Queen Mother stuff. We're gonna wrap up, have the conversation. Do anybody got any last thoughts? Because we're gonna head into the after show, and the after show, I got something for you. I got something for you real quick.
Go ahead. Real quick. Like I got a friend, and me and him was always talking. And the other day, he let me hear a conversation that is him and this Black woman, and he calls her. She's cussing him out because he's using my phone to call her because his phone is off because he's out grinding, trying to make money for her. And he's telling me at the same time, he said, I asked her to do one thing. That's all I asked her, and she can't do that right. And wherever that comes in the house, we're always getting broken down by that woman. You can't do this right. You can't do that right. And I've been in situations where I'm looking at this woman, and if you are not making this, and you're making this, and you're trying to get somewhere because you're not happy, they'd rather you make that and not be happy than to make this and be happy. And that's where I find the patterns has changed in the world. Yes, the woman is the superhero. Yes, she can lead us and talk life into us. But at the same time, they can break us. While they building us up, they're breaking us down at the same time because they're making us feel less than. And what Miss Ali is saying, and what Miss Ali is saying is truth. We never looked at the bigger picture. They never examined the Black woman. They didn't want to examine the Black woman. That was what it was. They wanted the Black woman to have that pedestal, and they wanted the Black man to be down there because they knew how really strong we are. If they could break us down and get us to nothing, they can let the black woman lead. And as you see, the white man, they studies this. They study us, the black people, at all times. So when them 80s hit and they seen that we can break up these families, you can go to shelters, you can go anywhere you want. If that woman is there, it's a women's shelter. If she has kids, it's a women's shelter. The black man has to find his own. He basically is on his own. And in society, and you building this home up, how much do we have to take from a black woman to know that we're strong enough to, to deal with it? And then we always talk about relationship. That's why most black men tend to go to a submissive white woman or out of that race.
Well, I disagree with that because most black men ain't going nowhere because they don't want us. We don't go. That's one of the misses. But I want to say something that you said at the beginning, Hezekiah, and I know this is going to sound a little.
Thank you.
And I know this is going to sound a little insensitive. But if you are a black man and you request something of a woman, I don't care if it's a black woman, any woman, make sure you have the ability to request it.
Yeah.
Okay, now you said something right there.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be unfair. I'm just saying. Make sure. I'm not trying to dog your friend. All he asked her was one thing. Why does she have to listen to a guy for one thing when he can't keep his phone on?
Yeah,
a $30 plus mobile phone. I'm just.
But
now when we
he
get
didn't
to
have his phone on because he had to pay that rent.
Look,
she doesn't work.
The one thing I would tell men, don't nobody care about your excuses.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
In order to effectively be there's a reason why I can walk up to that nurse who makes more money than me and look her in the face and tell her what I tell her. And in the manner that I tell her, you have to have the cachet. Another word for cachet is credibility.
Yeah.
And that means that you have to have walked a certain way, gone through certain things, fixed certain things about your life. You've had to have gone through a few things and you've had to build.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do that. I'm not saying that our women should not offer us grace and mercy and stuff like that, but it is your responsibility first, because you were here first. From if you are a Christian or practice Christianity, you will understand that woman was made from you, not the other way around. You have to be able to offer something for her to latch on to. Now, if you have that, then you have the right to ask her or to demand something of her or to call her on the carpet, or when she gets out of line, you can tell her you can go kick rocks. But you gotta have the ability. And here's the thing: a lot of us, even though I always threw out the stat that 54% of black men are single, childless, and have enough money to be in the middle class. That does not mean you have cachet. That does not mean you have that you developed enough to be able to do those things or act something of a woman. There's no requirement for a woman to do anything for you that's unproven. Ooh, that bit a little bit, didn't it? There is no but.
I don't know about that.
There is no but.
I don't know about that. I've known men that have proven ourselves.
Hezekiah, when we get to the section where we're talking about here's the things that we're going to talk about it in great detail, is the vast volume of men who think it's perfectly okay to go move in with a woman, to go move into her house, and what the outcome of that produces for him. And the fact that, and I'll say it right now, if you are a man and you got to go move into her house, you are not the head of nothing.
Nope.
Because anything that can be allowed can be disallowed. And we see on YouTube, on Facebook, all of these videos of these men from 20s on up to 60 being thrown out of these women's houses. Why are you being thrown out of a woman's house? I'll give you a short story, then we're going to wrap this up and get to the after show. He probably going to kill me. My grandfather, way back in the day, messed up real bad with my grandmother. And everybody know about what I mean by messed up real bad, you know? Yep, something came knocking on the door saying daddy who didn't live there. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother, rightfully so, was pissed off. Now, this is the story my grandfather is telling me. Oh, yeah, she wanted him to go. That sucker got his belongings, went in the basement, and stayed down there until she got over it. Because that was his house.
That's right.
He got that house, built that home for his wife and his children. And my father is one of the children. Now, had that been a home that she had to move in of hers, when it was time for her to go, if she said he had to go, he had to go. There's a difference. And when women get mad at you, most fellas, our ladies ain't got no problem telling you to get out. Sister Thomas's or Miss Lucas's husband get mad at them, he ain't gonna sit there and look at her. He can, no matter how mad he get, he ain't gonna utter them words, get out. Two reasons. We just don't do that. We go to another room or we go for a walk or a ride or whatever the case may be too. And then if we tell our woman to get out, she getting out. And we don't mean that. We don't want her to go nowhere. You know, she ain't gonna sit there and be like, baby, why you throwing me out? She gonna be like, oh, you want me to go? All right, brother. We don't do stuff like that. But I tell guys all the time. So no, Hezekiah, I'm a big fan. You gotta have something. Doesn't mean you have to have everything, but you gotta have something.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to it. All right, we're gonna conclude, have the conversation today. We talked a little about, her image from Sister Shahrazad Ali's perspective. Hang back, we got some fun stuff. I'm sitting over here talking, and I'm not even in the stream. How do y'all think that went?
Loved it.
It
went pretty good.
Man, we could talk all night about that one.
Oh yeah.
I could say what I really wanted to say.
Why not? Why not?
Because it's like it's experience. Because I've met women and dealt with women like they have been married, and you be talking to them, and then you accidentally meet that husband one time, and they be like, all that they doing and all that they built for this woman, and you like, are you serious? And you out here screwing around on your husband, and he did all this and built this foundation for you. You over here playing pity pat because you bored or whatever. You know, and it's crazy though, and it's like with black women, it's like the more you give them, the more they want. It's like some people say that you don't give them all you got at the beginning, because if you do, that's all they're gonna want. You know, and I've been in situations like we was talking about, TJ, about moving in with a woman, and she want to kick me out, but then she want me to come back when it's rent time to get paid. You know what I mean? And me not catching on, being the dumb, like, oh yeah, I'm come back. And the same cycle continues until you decide to break the cycle. You know what I'm saying? So it taught me how to be independent too, though, and to live on my own. Because I don't want nobody to keep kicking me out you know what I'm saying? Every week you mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that don't work.
I was about 22. I got kicked out. I got kicked out I was 22, 23, and I was living with a girl, moved in her house and got kicked out. That never happened again. That's a lesson you should only learn once. That's a lesson you should only learn once. Mm-hmm. Miss Philly, how did you feel for being a first timer on Have the Conversation?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I love intellectual conversations and just like real raw conversations about society and the world and all that. Like I enjoy this lane very much.
Okay. Well, we've been calling this little part after the show. So we've talked about a couple things primarily about like the fact that most black men when we talk about what we want our woman to look like physically, that we want you as close to natural as possible. So we're gonna pick that up today because there's this celebrity match. I don't know if she's a celebrity matchmaker, but she's a matchmaker. Rebecca Lynn Pope. I mentioned her once on one of our other streams. I mentioned Rebecca Lynn Pope. She used to be a matchmaker. She quit matchmaking because she felt that black women were not being realistic about their standards with guys that she would find for them. So she's back with a take on being natural. So I want to play that for you guys. See what you guys think.
One of the things that I realized in wearing my natural curly hair is that it gets a lot of attention, more compliments, flirts, attention from women, attention from men, more looks. And I haven't worn my hair natural in so long that I didn't really pay attention to it. We have created a norm for beauty.
What kind of got me about this clip initially, and I'm not done playing it, is the fact that she was shocked.
Yeah, she was.
That she was shocked that that's what men gravitate towards. I'm gonna play the rest of the clip, so I want you guys to hear, because I want you to hear what that guy right there, that's Mr. Let Go. I want you to hear what he got to say.
Beauty, standards of beauty that is not really about our natural beauty, our natural looks, right? And it hit me this week. I was like, men did not approach me in person. But when I was single, I was also always glammed up. How often do you get hit on when you feel like you look like a bum? When you feel like you're just running to the store with your ponytail and yoga pants on?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pause right there. So what do you guys think?
Shoot, that's when I'm gonna hit on her when she running into the store with her ponytail and yoga pants on.
That is true. That has happened to me. No, that is true. And I don't understand it. But then again, I'm not a man. I don't understand it because to me, I'm like, oh, I'm not so hot today.
The most attractive version of you is you in your natural state.
Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff that you're doing, these fan eyelashes and 14-inch nails and other women's hair on your head, we have never asked you guys for that stuff. You guys do that crap for other people. You don't do it for no man, because that's not what we want.
I know when I went to the store, this man actually stared at me. He walked up to me. He said, "I just can't believe it." I said, "What?" He said, "You are a natural beauty." He said,
"Yeah,
that's your real hair?" I said, "Yes, this is my real hair." He's like, "Oh my God." He said, "It's just rare, just rare." So he was just shocked. I was like, "Well, dang, I'm still human. But I guess it is shot because I ain't getting no BBL. I mean, I'm a full
What's a
figure woman.
BBL?
There's nothing fake on me. This all
Come on now.
all
Come on
me right
now.
here.
Come on now.
What's a BBL?
Okay. I got you.
BBLs, these women
I'm
going to get
thinking,
these fake boobs
These
and
big
fake butts
boobs, these big
and all.
butts, flat stomach.
Yeah, all
They
this
got to
stuff
buy
is
all
fake.
that instead of working out for it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some women are just not naturally born with a lot of curves. Some women buy, their behinds, they buy their breasts. So
Oh, if you
What
say
they gonna
some
do
of
so,
when they
us
can't
get
buy
it
it no more?
naturally, some
they
of us
buy
get
it
it
What
like
you
they
gonna
naturally.
do
buy
when you can't
extensions, huh?
buy it no more? When them funds start, when pandemic checks, stimulus checks run out, and all that run out, what you gonna do then? And then them dimples start flaring up, and you can't do nothing about them dimples because you don't want to get up and go out and work out. You better go and walk you some miles. Better
Yo,
get
cut
some
back.
squats.
walk you
Better do some
somewhere.
push-ups. Better do some squats. I'm telling you, walking would do miracles for you if you just get out and
Yes,
do it.
it will.
Some people don't
No,
want to get up and do
no,
that.
walking is great. But the
I
point I'm
know.
trying to make is if you're not naturally born, if you're naturally born in A cup, you're gonna be an A cup whether you walk or not. I mean, what it is, you know. Yeah. What I'm saying is,
I mean, you can do exercises and you can do stuff. I mean, they have been proven stuff that you can do to
Work out.
increase and decrease stuff. I mean, there's squats you can do if you want a big butt. You do squats. It's
oh
squats
no, I know
and
that. I know that.
techniques that you can do.
Certain things,
Yeah, you
you
kind of.
can
I'm sure
do,
they don't
Angela.
come up with all kind of stuff that you can exercise to get you some boobs. They got all kind of rubs and massages now that you can
Oh
do.
Lord.
And they don't come up with all kind of stuff. You ain't got to go and buy nothing now. I'm telling you. I'm
Oh,
telling you. And cup
so
sizes, trust me,
from a
mine
B
go
cup
up and
just
down.
by exercising.
Mine go up and down. So I've seen it. Ain't nothing nobody told me.
Yeah.
When I
I
work
used to have
out in
boobs
shape,
in
mine's
my
a little
so
smaller. And when I let myself go, they're a little bigger. It's all about you. Ain't nothing but fat. I'm saying, come on now.
Angela, you're telling the truth because
But I'm
I
saying,
used to weigh 300 pounds. I did. I used to weigh 300 pounds and it was not healthy. I was climbing the hill to go to work. When I got to the top, I could not breathe. And I opted to do the surgery because everything else that I was doing was not working, but I needed it because of health. And then when I lost 100 pounds, I cried, not because of the weight that was lost, because I lost breast size. And I just cried. I was like, oh Lord, I can't do this. I can't walk around like that. How am I supposed to walk around with nothing? And that's the way I felt because it's always been with me. But after several years of the weight being gone, things are falling into place. And I'm thinking, you remember me? You
That's
remember
the
me?
food.
It was like just exercising, moving around. It was going to be there, but it just wasn't in the places that it needed to be because I lost the weight. But I'm happy. I'm happy as anything right now. But it happens.
Okay.
You know, I needed to lose that. People may say, "Oh, you lost. You went and got that." I got it because I needed to. It was killing me.
I want to show you guys one more thing.
Oh.
Hey, everybody's out tonight. What's your name, boo? You got better light?
What you say?
You got better? Okay, that's good. What's your name, honey?
My name is Sherry.
Girl, look at the
Frozen.
Hezekiah. Hezekiah.
Yes.
Did you like that?
Not really.
Yes, you
Nope.
did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. She's
Nope.
perfect for you.
No.
Hold
Not
on
me.
a second. Yep. Hold on a second.
No, sir. I like the top one.
No, they just
Look, that scared me right there.
What's your name, honey?
My name is Sherry.
Girl, look at them lashes. Do you have on 2 pairs of lashes?
No, they just big like this tonight.
Girl, we cannot see your eye.
My lashes is lashing.
Mm.
My
No,
Her
sir.
her lashes are lashes.
Mm. They scare me.
That's what's out here, Miss Philly. You got them.
That's
You be
not
wearing them
that's
kind of
what some
lashes.
people prefer.
I
No,
don't
I
know.
wear,
don't do
okay,
that.
I'm a makeup artist, self-taught and certified. I wear lashes, but the extra exaggerated stuff, I mean, if it's not anything like a artistic or, you know, some on that level, like, no, I don't. I would like him looking full long, maybe a little dramatic, but they have like the dramatic lashes, but where you don't have to add like two, three, four pair on, so you really don't have to do that. But to each his own.
Oh, we gotta start with this to each his own stuff. That's just awful.
What
Forget
it
I
that.
is,
mean, if
Yes.
she's like, I
wear the
mean,
lashes.
Can't even see her
You know,
eyeballs.
I like my
I
people,
need
eyes
to
to be
see.
full, but
people look,
you
they'll
know,
say,
hey,
why is your
I
lashes
need
like
to
that?
see.
But my eyes are
And I'm glad
naturally
I can't
big,
wear
so
stuff
you
like
can't
that.
see the
Stuff like that
lashes.
irritate my eyes.
yeah,
And
I
it
would
doesn't
want my
bother me.
eyes
Yeah,
to
I
be
can't
seen
do that.
because you can
I can't. I just
looking
really
at the person's eyes is a whole lot. So
I do the nails too, but people will say those are, why do you add the nails? For one, these are my nails. My nails were curled at one time. And before COVID, I had to cut them because I didn't have anybody to help me take care of them. But now they're being protected and they're growing back.